Hey everyone, this is Force again. This time we are now at week 2, and I will be showing you the week 2 battle, including the prep, what I was most worried about, and of course the battle itself. This is going to be a battle of ice and fire. My Glalie, and he is a Volcanian. And let's go ahead and get started right away. So the matchup, with speed tiers, he does have someone that outspeeds everyone. Kilo Wattrell. I'm probably saying that wrong for someone. That's my bad. This thing is it's fast, but it's frail, and it also has no coverage. It only gets really electric and flying moves, which Rotom does not care for. It can resist both of its saps. Zygarde at 10% is the second fastest. It actually matches speed with Floatzel at 115. It can be a threat. If it sets up Dragon Dance, it will hurt. And it also gets a signature move called 1,000 Arrows. I say signature move, there's one more Pokemon in Radical Red that gets it. But basically, it's a ground type that can hit flying and mons with levitate. So that's a big threat to my Rotom. We got to be very careful because Rotom will, even if it's burned, it will still do a ton of damage. And Rotom, we don't want to lose Rotom here. We have, super effective against Tinkaton, Mega Butterfree, and Volcanion. And it resists this thing, so it does really well. Mega Glalie also does pretty well here too. It outspeeds everyone with speed investment, and it does a lot of damage. Like Earthquake will do a lot of damage here. Ice types will knock this thing out of the sky. Earthquake can hurt this, but they can take it down with 2 hits. So that'll be really important. So let's go ahead and move on. The big threats, starting with Volcanion. This thing, it's slow, but if it went Scarf, it would outspeed, I feel like, my entire team. And Floatzel can't do anything to it because it gets water absorbed. So even though it would normally hit it with neutral damage with like surging strikes, it would instead just heal it like 3 times, and we don't want that. That'd be really bad. So I had to keep that in mind. I was really worried about this. I was worried he would go like timid and try to outspeed Rotom. Rotom has another decent counter to it with its electric typing, but it also just one taps it with Steam Eruption, which is a 120 base power water move, and it's 100% accurate, so we got to be really careful. But yeah, that was the biggest threat here. Mega Glalie can 2-hit KO it, so if it does get damage enough, Mega Glalie can eventually take it down, assuming it's not Scarf. I was so worried it was going to go Scarf because it gets so many good moves. It gets Flamethrower, Steam Eruption, as we mentioned, Sludge Bomb, so it has poison coverage, Earth Power, so, it can just hit Steel types and Fire types so pretty well. And it probably gets other random things too, but yeah, its coverage is great. It hits really hard at 130 special attack, and it does have respectable bulk. Remember, my team is mostly physical, but Mega Glalie could indeed take it down with 2 hits, 2 Earthquakes. The second big threat was Mega Butterfree. Mega Butterfree is actually respectably bulky, and it gets the most powerful, arguably the most powerful boosting move in the game, which is Quiver Dance. Quiver Dance increases its special attack, its defense, and its speed by 1. So it already has a really high special attack. It's even higher than Volcanion. So this is scary off the bat. But now it can increase it by 50%, and now it can just one tap everything it's looking at. However, its biggest downside is that it is bug flying, and we talked about bug flying before when I picked Scyther. Bug flying is just atrocious defensive wise. It gets hit by so many types in the game for super effective. Ice hits it really hard. Electric, fire, rock is 4 times effective against it. So Stealth Rock brings its health down to like half. Flying type is super effective against it. It's just not a good typing. So that was my big advantage to it. It does get Roost, so Roost Quiver Dance can be annoying, especially if you have a special oriented team and it can just roost after using Quiver Dance. And it does get Compound Eyes, raises accuracy by 30%, so it gets Hurricane, and Hurricane is probably its strongest move. It hits you for, I think it's 120 or 110% damage, base power damage. And because of the Compound Eyes, it's hitting for 100% accuracy pretty much. It has 70% accuracy, but with Compound Eyes it goes up. It doesn't really get many coverage moves though. I think it gets Psychic, but that's like its best coverage move really. I don't think it gets anything else. Bug Buzz is also its strongest Bug Slap move. Onto the third one, Zygarde 10%. Now Zygarde 10%, it can be a threat if it gets Dragon Dance off once. And plus, with 1,000 arrows, it can destroy Rotom. I can't switch Rotom into it because it's just going to use 1,000 arrows and it'll just take it out of the sky, even though most of the time it's immune to ground, but for that one move. Its biggest weakness, though, is that it is insanely frail. Like, even resisted hits, it can only take so much. And if it gets burned, it's pretty much out of the game. So that was my... He was the least of my concerns, especially with Mega Glalie. Mega Glalie just destroys both these Pokemon if I were to go Fake Out. Fake Out Butterfree, if it sets up Quiver Dance, no problem, Fake Out, and then Quick Attack right after. Fake Out one-taps Zygarde along with Quick Attack. Either of these two can one-tap it, but if it does go Yache Berry and it's not damaged, it will actually not destroy it, but it will do a ton of damage. But even if it's damaged just a little bit, then Glalie can just destroy it with a Quick Attack, and it doesn't matter how often it boosted. It does not get a priority move. It might get Quick Attack itself, but I don't think Extreme Speed is on Zygarde 10%. It's on its evolution, well, quote unquote evolution, Zygarde 50%. But that's not in low tier, so we don't have to worry about that. Here is the Warriors of Week 2. We went with Mega Glalie. I have its speed set to outrun Max Jolly Tinkaton. Tinkaton has a pitiful attack stat of 75, but it gets a signature move called Gigaton Hammer, which is a 160 base power steel move, and Glalie will actually just get flattened by that and get knocked out of the game permanently. Well, for this week. So we definitely want to be careful about that. That's why we have it outspeeding. It's Max Jolly. Rest into bulk at 48 HP, and then the rest in attack, obviously. Return, Earthquake, Quick Attack, Fake Out. Fake Out, Quick Attack is for my insurance against Butterfree, Mega, and Zygarde in case they get boosting stuff going on. I will be able to flinch them and then finish them off with Quick Attack. If they are already damaged, then Quick Attack may just be the one that's needed, but, better safe than sorry if it's out on the field to deal with it. Rotom Heat, obviously we're bringing a Rotom Heat here. It gets Defog to get rid of its one and only Rock Setter's Stealth Rock. Tinkaton is its only Stealth Rock user, so we just have Rotom Heat to deal with it. It also hits pretty much most of its team for super effective damage. Tinkaton, it resists Kilowatt Roll, hits Butterfree, hits Volcanion. It's just a must bring. Like that's the reason. That's the entire reason I'm bringing him, just to destroy those kind of guys. Its speed stat is there to outspeed Max Speed Modest Volcanion. Like I said, I was so worried he was going to go like Timid and just knock Rotom out immediately, and then I would just be suffering the whole game. But after doing some research and talking with others, they said, yeah, it's usually... The speed can be a factor, but most of the time they go like Modest, because they want to maximize its high damage output. Duraludon... Stealth Rock, Dragon Pulse, Thunderbolt, Toxic. Thunderbolt for Volcanion and Butterfree. Toxic is just there as a filler move. I wasn't really sure what else to put it on there. I didn't really focus much on him this match, but yeah, it's just there. I should have probably used Thunder Wave just in case Butterfree was like getting a little out of hand, and we could just sort of Thunder Wave on it on the switch. Scyther has Eviolite, so Scyther... I made a ballsy move because he only has one Stealth Rock setter, and that was like his only hazard setter completely. I went with Eviolite, Scyther, Swords Dance, Duel, Wing Beat, Quick Attack, Close Combat. It was my second insurance in case things got out of hand with both Zygarde and Mega Butterfree. So then this way, if it could somehow get the Swords Dance off and now has Swords Dance Technician boosted Quick Attack, that could destroy them. Or do enough damage for someone else to hopefully fix it up. But... Hitmonchan has Assault Vest in case they needed to tussle and throw down with Volcanion. That was another thing I was worried about. If Rotom went down, Hitmonchan could probably just Drain Punch it, because if Volcanion does not get recover moves, so that was my insurance against it. Hitmonchan has pretty high special defense, so Assault Vest made that even higher, and it was pretty nice. It's still pretty frail though. We got to be careful, but with Drain Punch going off, it should be fine. And plus it has Rapid Spin for, once again, hazard removal and get that increased speed. And last but not least, Ludicolo. Ludicolo has Toxic Scald, Ice Beam, and Energy Ball. Toxic was there just in case. Again, it was just kind of a filler move. I wasn't sure what else to bring there. I could have probably maybe brought Flash for Volcanion or Butterfree. But Ice Beam hits Butterfree anyways, and Flash is only 60 base power. Energy Ball probably just does more damage to it, even if it's super effective, by just a little bit. So yeah, that's the whole team here, and that's the reason why I built them was mostly for Volcanion and Butterfree, and of course Zygarde just for insurance. Let's go ahead and check out the replay now. I made it bigger. I was informed last video that the old replay was a little too zoomed out like this, which was not good. I watched it on my phone just to see what it was like, and it was bad, so hopefully this is good enough. As you can see here, he did bring in all of his threats: a Zygarde, a Volcanion, Mega Butterfree, Absol, Tinkaton, and Kilowatcher. So I pretty much expected all these to come. Absol, probably less so, but yeah, I saw this coming. So I was glad to have prepped properly. And here we go. We're gonna go in and get started. So he leaves Volcanion, and I leave Rotom Heat. Now at this point, I was like, okay, I can hard switch into Ludicolo, or we gamble and see if it's truly fast. If it's fast, then I have that information, but I lose Rotom pretty much immediately, and then that's going to make things hard. So I take a gamble here, and I hit it. I'm going to hit it with Volt Switch, and just hope I move first. I move first, and a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders when I saw that. Now anyone here should be able to one-tap a Volcanion, assuming it doesn't get too many leftover procs from me swapping around. Glalie can take it down with Earthquake. Rotom can hit again, and this time I know it's faster, so that's even better. So I was really excited to see that. Let's go ahead and continue. So I swap into Ludicolo, predicting the Steam Eruption coming in. Ludicolo 4x resist, no problem. At this point, I kind of make a goofy move here. I go for Toxic, because I knew he was going to switch, but I went for Toxic. I just should have just clicked Ice Beam. Like, what am I toxing? I should have just clicked it here, because I would have done a lot of damage to Butterfree. Kilo of that came in. Zygarde, no way he was going to bring Zygarde in, but if he did, Ice Beam would just kill it instantly. Absol, it would still do decent damage to it. Absol's not exactly the bulkiest mon at all. And Tinkaton, I doubt he would throw a physical Steel-type mon into Ludicolo. So that was my bad. But hey, we live and learn, right? So at this point, predicting the Air Slash, I swap into Rotom, who resists both of its stabs, Electric and Flying. And now, he switches to Zygarde 10%. We get some decent damage in, but not just decent damage. There it is, the burn. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I was so happy. This is the second game in a row where I burned the person's best physical setter. I was so excited. So now Zygarde's just out of the game. Not only is it out of the game, Glalie can just quick attack and kill it right there. Like, if it was Yachi Berry and it was full, at least here, I believe, like right where my mouse pointer is, it could, like, maybe absorb it and then fire back. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. It's out of the game. I don't have to worry about this at all. However, with it being a ground attacker that can hit Rotom, I switch out, predicting the 1,000 arrows. That does almost nothing. It did 4% damage because of leftovers. So this time I predict the Kilowattrel coming out and hit it with Ice Beam. Typically, Kilowattrels will bring Sash. It didn't get to Sash range, but it's pretty much also down for the count. If he has Sash, he could try roosting it, but that would just give me the momentum on my side. So I swap to Rotom Heat, and he goes for the Volt Switch. And he comes back in with Zygarde 10%. Now, this next play had me shook a little bit. I was a little spooked by what happens here. He's gonna hard switch to his Butterfree, and I'm gonna hard switch to my Ludicolo, and now the momentum is on his side. And that scared me just for a second, because I already know he's gonna go for the Quiver Dance. He's gonna try to sweep, but hey, we have Glalie in the back, so I was like, oh, it's whatever. It was scary for a second. It's like, uh oh. So knowing he's gonna go for the Quiver Dance, I go for the Ice Beam. And hoping to get a Frostbite off him. It does not work this time. You know, the RNG gods are not with Ludicolo, unlike last game where I got a Frostbite off, so that was pretty meh. But we did okay damage. We did 31% damage to it. So I sacrificed Duraludon. Sorry, Duraludon. I should have invested more into your special defense, but you did your job. I'm making sure Glalie comes out safely. And now, they made fun of me for this. Someone I know made fun of me for mentioning that Fake Out was a buff to Mega Glalie. But here's why. Like, who's laughing now? Boom. We get the super effective, almost dead Fake Out. 64% of his health gone, and it flinches. So now that boost means nothing, and Butterfree's out of the game. There's nothing Butterfree can do at this point because everyone else just destroys it. It's a pretty slow mon at 80 base speed. He might have invested more into his health, especially if he's going Quiver Dance, but yep, so he brings Volcanion in. We get a little bit of chip. It doesn't matter because it just heals it back up. But Earthquake, bye-bye. Earthquake was a 2-hit KO with the Evis I had set up, so I knew it was safe to just click Earthquake. So now his strongest, the one I feared the most from the start, is now gone. So that was a huge way. And this one's out of commission, and Butterfree's out of commission. So basically, we still gotta play safe. I don't want to like count my chickens just yet, before they hatch. So he brings out Tinkaton. Now Tinkaton will absolutely demolish the poor Glalie with Gigaton Hammer. It's so obvious. So I swap it out to the 4x resist Rotom. Steel does not hit electric and fire very well, so it's a 4x resist. So as you see, it still does 18% damage because it has such a high base power of 160. It's just nuts. But that's fine. So I start hitting it with Flamethrower because at this point we can just Flamethrower anything that comes out. Finish it off here. It does set up rocks. We don't care. Butterfree comes out. I'm faster than it because I'm faster than Volcanion, and it goes down. Absol comes out. Now I make a goofy move. I click Defog. I don't know why. I think I was just on autopilot because at this point I knew I won, but I was still on autopilot here, and I clicked Defog thinking Absol outsped me, so I was like, whatever, I'll just click a random move. It doesn't matter. So in the future, just click attacking moves because oops. I knew that wasn't the end of the game, but I was like, oh, that was my bad. So it does the Swords Dance. Me being shocked that I'm faster, I just start firing off flamethrowers. Does a lot of damage, 63% damage. Oof. So it's a 2 KO. But Rotom does go down to a critical hit Night Slash. I doubt that crit mattered. Whatever. We bring in Hitmonchan. He starts swapping with Kilo. Kilo goes down. It was already so low. Absol being a dark type, Hitmonchan does not care. We Drain Punch and we just win the game off of Hitmonchan punching everything. Good game. Pretty scary to set up. I'm glad he did not go Scarf. If he went Scarf, this might have been a completely different game. He would have taken down Rotom. He would have taken down Glalie, unless Glalie can get the Earthquake off a switch. He would have taken down Scyther, because Scyther would need to use Swords Dance. Ludicolo, if he had a Poison move. Even Fire move would just, be annoying, because Ludicolo can only do so much. But yeah, that was week 2. Let's go back to our amazing slides here. Here is week 3. Week 3 sneak peek. Sorry, I don't have a clever background. I tried so hard to find one, but I just gave up. We'll think about that in the future. I have not prepped for this team yet, but it will be happening Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I might live record it. We'll see how that goes. Generally, there's a lot of background noise when I'm doing these matches, so I don't want random things getting picked up on the mic. So it might be live recorded, but it might just be a replay, as it is per usual. I have not prepped for this team yet, but from what I know, the coach is 2-0 along as well as me, so we're both 2-0. So next week, someone's being 3-0. And the other person's being 2-1. So that'd be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm going to probably start prepping Sunday evening. I generally try to wait till the evening time. There's no trades in this league. It's all what you pick is what you pick. So that's why I couldn't swap Trapinch for Spinarak. So I could prep now, but we'll just give it a few days rest. Anyways, thank you so much for coming to this video. I greatly appreciate it if you made it all the way here. I will be also making a quick break video about the main channel plans, what I plan to do with it, and some exciting things I have planned, especially with my friends, like Muskrat Jerome. We plan on doing some power rankings. More on that in the next video. But thank you so much, and you guys have a nice one. Bye-bye.